Welcome to game number 10 of the World Championship match between Magnus Carlsen and Sergey Karjakin, played in New York City. This game number 10 played specifically on the 24th of November 2016. Magnus opened with e4. He tried d4 in games 1 and 8 and got absolutely nowhere. Indeed, in game number 8, he overextended himself trying to crack the bus that Sergey has been parking in front of himself as far as defenses are concerned, and overreached, and in the process ended up losing the game to go one game down in the match. And the other options that Magnus could possibly still try would be c4, knight f3 or g3, and you never know, one of those might be uncorked in his last white game in game number 12. Or for that matter, he might be leaving them to uncork in the tiebreak should the match land up going there. The game continued with e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e5, knight f6, d3, and as you can see here, Sergey is sticking to his guns with the Berlin Wall opening against Magnus's Spanish. And because if Sergey is able to shut this game down into a dead draw straight out of the opening, that will place him one game closer to clinching the world title. And the game continues: bishop c5, knight c3, castle short, bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, bishop e7, castle short, d6, knight b to d2, knight h5, bishop takes on e7, queen takes on e7, knight c4, knight f4, knight e3, queen f6, g3, knight h3, king h1, knight e7, bishop c4, c6, bishop e3, knight g6, queen e2, a5, a4, bishop e6, bishop takes on e6, f takes on e6, and knight d2. Now here the social media started absolutely screaming that all Sergey needs to do here is play knight takes on f2. Indeed, Judith Palko, that was doing the live commentary, was also saying knight f2 is the leads to a nice and simple and clean draw, because after Magnus plays king g2, you got knight h4, king g1, knight h3 check, king h1, knight f2 check, etc., etc., and that leads to a perpetual check, and that's exactly what Sergey will be needing. But indeed, after knight d2, instead of white playing king g2, he's got king g1 as a prepared trick that he had up his sleeve. Indeed, in the press conference afterwards, Magnus made comment about the king g1 as the option to play here, because then suddenly knight h3 check, king g2, knight hf4 check, g takes f4, knight takes on f4, rook takes on f4, e takes on f4, knight c2, e5, queen g4, and all of a sudden Magnus would have given up one of his rooks for both of Black's knights, and a completely asymmetrical position that he would be able to, he felt he would be able to push strongly for picking up a win in the game. So instead of that, after knight d2, Sergey blitzed out the move of d5 and allowed the game to continue with queen h5, knight g5, h4, knight f3, knight takes on f3, queen takes on f3, queen takes on f3, rook takes on f3, king g2, rook f7, rook f to e1, h5, knight f1, king f8, knight d2, king e7, rook e2, king d6, knight f3, rook a to f8, knight g5, rook e7, rook a to e1, rook f to e8, knight f3, knight h8, d4, e takes on d4, knight takes on d4, g6, rook e3, knight f7, e5, king d7, rook f3, knight h6, rook f6, rook g7, b4, a takes on b4, c takes on b4, knight g8, rook f3, knight h6, a5, knight f5, knight b3, king c7, knight c5, king b8, rook b1, king a7, rook d3, rook c7, rook a3, knight d4, rook d1, knight f5, king h3, knight h6, f3, rook f7, rook d4, knight f5, rook d2, rook h7, rook b3, rook e to e7, rook d to d3. And rook d to d3, an interesting move to be played in this position, because objectively it looks like instead of rook d to d3, the best move to play in this position would be to push the pawn to b5. But what happens is that after c takes b5 and rook takes b5, white is no longer defending that e3 square. So which means that black can now bring the knight back to e3, and after rook d3, the knight then comes up to c4 and is able to aid in the defense with f4, and things are still looking good for white, but a lot more easier to defend for black. So instead of that, what Magnus did was he played rook d to d3, adding an extra rook onto this third rank so that he can cover that e3 square. And as a result, after rook h8, rook b1, still waiting, rook h to h7, and now he plays b5. And now after c takes b5, rook takes b5, compared to the position after move 55, there's no ways that black is now able to play that knight e3 c4 combination to be able to get his knight across into defense. So that shuts the knight out from defending, and as a result his position crumbles really quickly. Continuing with d4, rook b6, rook c7, knight e6, rook c3, knight f4, rook hc7, knight d5, and rook takes on d3, knight takes on c7. It's important to note here that the normal beginner lesson is when you're up in material, you exchange off material, because each exchange improves your position. Take that, if you have to compare that out to football, for instance, where you've got 11 players versus 11. If one player is sent off and you've got 10 versus 11, 10 players can objectively defend against 11. But if both teams then start removing players from the field and you're down to 3 versus 2 or 2 versus 1, that becomes a dead certain win for the team that's got the more players. And the same thing applies here in chess. Continue with king b8, knight b5, king c8, rook g6, rook f3, king g2, rook b3, knight d6 check, knight takes on d6, rook takes on d6, rook e3, e6, king c7, rook takes on d4, rook takes on e6, rook d5, rook h6, king f3, king b8, king f4, king a7, king g5, rook h8, king f6, and you can see that the king is going to be coming into that f7 square, forcing the black rook away from defending that pawn that's sitting on h5, in which case the rook will be able to come across, sweep up the pawn, and leave these two pawns with a clear run through to the 8th rank, and with his position completely busted, Sergey resigned the game. Magnus picked up the point and moved the match back up to completely level ground with only 2 games remaining. What will be happening in those 2 games? Vamos a ver, we shall see. That brings me to the end of my report on Game 10 of the World Championship match between Magnus Carlsen and Sergey Karjakin, played in New York City 2016. Be sure to like and share this video, post any comments, questions or criticisms that you may have in the comment section down below. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, and last but by no means least, remember, stay carved up for the win. I'll see you next time. Cheers.